ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै।
It's like some repetition.
One of the main characteristic of Sanatana Dharma is it's a way of life. Sanatana Dharma is a way of life, and also it's a ladder to go towards that, the principle which you say that divinity within us is to be manifested. That's what again and again various sages, whether it is Aurobindo or Vivekananda, they all suggested that is hasten the progress, the journey that we are making. And this journey that we're making is a conscious journey that we do. That is what Swami Vivekananda said, that potential divinity is there. Goal is to manifest the divinity. Of all the species that human being is given with this particular goal, that you need to do it. Anything that we need to achieve, anything that we need to do, requires a sacrifice from your side. Absolutely clear about that. Some sacrifice or some commitment I do from my side, that will take me forward. Simple thing that if I have to prepare food, then I have to sacrifice some time of mine, see that I prepare, so that I will get good food. So this requires sacrifice. Second thing is also any activity that you do it, you move forward. You have to have that non-attachment and then move forward. Otherwise, you can't move forward. And this, it is very important thing to have that non-attachment. So that what happens, freshness will come. That's what in the nature that you have. Like for example, autumn comes, all the leaves fall off, and then fresh leaves come up. And before falling, that they have such beautiful colors. Autumn colors are there, fall colors are there. It's so important. In India, we don't have that because in the morning that leaves are there, evening they're already fall, finish. We don't have the transition that is there, like in the Western countries. Similarly, flowers, when you take it, fresh flowers in the morning, evening it will go away. But then again, we have next fresh flowers come up. So this is a cycle that's going on. This is something which has to go on. So that means something that the plant also leaves so that the fruits fall off. Next season prepares for the next fruits. Everywhere, there's two ideas that are there. One is called as that you need to put your effort in doing that. The second thing is you have an idea of leaving. These are the two things which again and again Krishna said in Bhagavad Gita, Yoga Vasishtha, Vishwamitra Vasishtha said, and in the Patanjali Yoga Sutra, Patanjali also said, that is, these are the two things which will help us to grow. If any one of these things missing, the growth will not take place. And that's what is Abhyasa and Vairagya. Abhyasa is the way that you need to really discipline yourself. Unless and if you may be a child prodigy, might have gone all those things, you have all that quality that is there when you are born. But in spite of all that property is there, you need to go through the practice of disciplining yourself to get into that. You have to train your voice, you have to train your this, you have to train your artwork so that the growth takes place. So therefore, the discipline is something part of this culture. And now what they have done is that they suggested such, and Gurukul is supposed to be the place where the first thing that is included is the Gurukul and the Abhyasa, that means discipline. Right from the time that you get up in the morning, do activities and all that, it is discipline. And Vairagya, that means you can leave connections from the house, that you may be a royal family, you may be something, but then Gurukul, you are equal, everything like that. So what happens is by these two things, you are trained. Particularly youngsters are the is the time where you are prepared for discipline. You have so much of capacity to discipline yourself, and we have to make use of it. If you don't do the discipline in the childhood days, later on it will not come. Similarly, like that, at that time, whatever that is supposed to be a comfort zone for you, you will leave it and go through the hardship. So that's why Vairagya is something which is important. At that time, that you have to be trained to the highest degree of Vairagya, highest degree of Abhyasa, depending upon your own nature. So it is based on the nature, that Abhyasa, Vairagya, these are given. That is only the thing which will make the life journey possible. That's why Patanjali says, when Krishna says, Arjuna says that Krishna, how to calm down the mind? Because mind is going helter-skelter. Chanchalam hi manah Krishna, pramadi balavad dridam, tasyaham nigrah manye, vayuresa dushkaram. When it is sudushkaram, then Krishna accepts that. He doesn't say it is wrong. He says, asamshayam mahabaho. You know, the words very chosen way Krishna uses. I have absolutely no doubt about it. Asamshayam. Mahabaho. He gives an adjective also for Krishna, Arjuna, that you are a great fellow. Asamshayam Mahabaho, Manaha Durnigraham Chayam. In fact, the word that he uses is Durnigraham. That means it is difficult. He doesn't say impossible. That means there is possibility. And then in the next sutra, next sentence, he gives the methodology. That means it can be possible. Abhyasena takonteya vairagyena chigrihyate. That's how he brings about Abhyasa Vairagya. And Arjuna, there is a common man, Nara. So therefore, what he suggests is for the common man, Abhyasa and Vairagya. The same thing happens in the case of Rama. Vasishtha says, Yogam Jnanam cha Raghava, Yogaha tat vruttirodhehi, Jnanam samyak avekshana. There he uses for Abhyasa Yoga, and for Vairagya uses Jnana. So therefore, these two things are there. Patanjali also used the same thing, Abhyasa Vairagyabhyam, then Nirodha. Nirodha is, actually it is not that you are stopping. Nirodha is not being there is what is Nirodha. Chanchalatva not being there is supposed to be Nirodha. So how that can happen? It can happen by Abhyasa Vairagya. There also very nicely, all these people, they said, Abhyasa in the first, then the Vairagya. That means to say, discipline is given very much greater emphasis on that. Then they have given the Vairagya, let go.
Here, just my doubt has always been Vairagya, we say let go. Let go means you're letting go of the fruit of that abhyasa.
Not, it can be taken that way. Fruit of Abhyasa also. But actually, there is no fruit at all. Abhyasa is basically you are strengthening yourself, you are growing yourself, you are maturing yourself. That's what is the idea. But Vairagya is as you mature, then you don't need the support of that. That's what is Vairagya. That means Vairagya evolves out of it. But if we recognize this Vairagya evolving out of it, then Abhyasa becomes easy.
So is it like you told about outgrowing? No?
Yeah.
When you
Outgrow, then leave it behind. This is in the nature. See, that's what they have observed the nature, and according to nature, everything happens like that. So therefore, here also, it is according to nature, it is given. But what happens with the human being is that if it is proper, if it is not, there are two things. One is that if it is not properly given, then people don't practice it. One thing. Second thing is, depending upon different type of people, different categories, then there are different levels of Abhyasa and Vairagya.
Because of the personality.
Because of the personality. So, and type also. So there are, that is why and who has to do it? Somebody who has all these things, knowledge of all those things, he will only do it. It's very beautifully said that like on a hill, that at the bottom of the hill, somebody has a point of view, whereas somebody who is on the top of the hill is a viewpoint. That means he can look at various things. He can suggest according to way that how you can come. But fellow who is at the bottom does not know. Therefore, somebody has to guide him. So that's why somebody on the top will guide him. And somebody who is on the top is supposed to be Acharya. And he is Antevasi. He is going to go up. So therefore, unless until that there is that one-to-one connection is there, understanding is there, personality development is, nature is there, all that thing, then only that you can guide him. You cannot give a common formula for everybody. Thousands of people get together and ask them to do some yoga. That's not the way it goes. It works on that. It personally connection. That is why. That's why the knowledge that flows is one-to-one connection between the student and teacher. It has to be like that. So that's why. And there also it is the teacher's connection is not as a teacher. The knowledge is there, he allows the knowledge to flow freely. He is not giving the knowledge, therefore teacher is not there.
It's channelizing.
Knowledge is flowing. That's a channelizing, knowledge is flowing. That's why in Bhagavad Gita, the shloka says, Upadekshantite jnanam jnaninaha tattvadarshinaha. He is a jnani and also tattvadarshi. That means he knows the reality, experiences the reality. Then only such a person, the knowledge flows from him. Upadekshantite, passive voice he uses. So that means to say that that one-to-one connection is there, and then the message is going, but the teacher doesn't have ego. So therefore, what happens is that the student, not only knowledge he gets, but the personality is transformed.
Mm.
So therefore, that he sees that the teacher is ego-free, that helps the student to become ego-free. So that process, so much knowledge is there, but he's still ego-free. He doesn't have ego. That is something which makes him a greater, much more potential student than just knowledge. So if only think of knowledge, books can give. These days Google can give. But the idea of humility, only the teacher's way of life can give. Observe him day in and out. Be with him so that what happens, the life that he lives is something which is extraordinary. Now imagine that a teacher has to be there, guide has to be there, he has to understand all those things. That means what a rigorous amount of abhyasa and vairagya the teacher has to have. So if therefore that Brahmana is supposed to be the highest degree of discipline that you used to have, highest degree of vairagya they used to have. That means to say that absolutely no dependence and no ideas, no nothing. At the same time, that is the highest respect for the knowledge, idea of knowledge and all that. Then what happens when such a person, when he says a word, the word is not just only the material material of the words that is there, the literature that is there, but more important is the power with which that word is said. That's what is the great thing. In fact, symbolically that Ramakrishna Paramahamsa case that we say that, but it's just a symbolic, not that he really wanted that way to be understood. Like, a mother brings a child and tell Ramakrishna, said, Thakur, can you tell him not to eat sweet? And they bring him 1 month later. 1 month later, she brings that 1 month, Thakur didn't eat sweet. And they said, don't eat sweet. And this you could have done 1 month before. Said, no, my word has to have potential, that power. And it can only be possible if I left the sweet for so much, for a month, then only I could do it. So that means he was living that experiences that. The student, in fact, you see, one simple sentence that Drona says, that whether it is day or night, that means to say, you should be able to find the target and shoot it. How to find the target? That you find out your own way. And he said that. All the others slept after that. But then in the middle of the night, Drona gets up because there is some sound is coming. Shh, wind sound. He said, what is this happening? He comes out. He said that it's totally dark. In the darkness, Arjuna is practicing. And I just said in the day and night, you should be able to find out your target. Yes, Guruji, you said it, therefore I'm practicing it. my God, the commitment that was there is like that. So, in fact, there's a Zen story like that. That's a very beautiful Zen story. I don't know, several times I did about it. That is about the awareness. Whatever you might do, awareness should be maintained.
Like it's not routine.
Yeah. So sword fighting. And then he said, teach the sword fighting. He comes and he's teaching. First of all, he gives him nice food, nice stay, everything. He says, this is so wonderful. He has not even seen the sword. But before even seeing the sword, he said, anyway, you are staying here. It's already too much. And then the guru is nicely preparing food and gives him. He eats all those things. And then suddenly he says that, anyway, you are here. Why don't you also take up some job, take up some work, because there's so much of work, like mopping the house and cleaning the vessels. He was doing that. Then he does all the cleaning of the vessels and all that. The teacher comes and says that, these vessels are not properly cleaned. Clean it once again. Half of the vessels come back to him. In the beginning, he was frustrated. Then he said, yeah, there must be some cleanliness. It should be proper. But teacher said is right. So he went on cleaning it. And then again, another half is done. So this way. Then mopping. Clean the mopping, and then this not all right. It's not there all right. Clean it. Because he realized that at that point of time, your mind went away somewhere. Therefore, that there is something, cleanliness has happened. The teacher also said, probably there is something else going on in your mind. That's why you did not do it. Now the teacher says that after some time, he says that I do not just tell you, I'll beat you. Whenever there is something wrong, I'll beat you. So when the things are not all right, then he would beat him. And they would look around. Yes, there is some place where it is not clean. So he cleans it. So that earlier that he used to get about 15, 20 beatings a day, slowly reduced to 10, reduced to 5. Now there is no beating at all. Whether he cleans the house or whether he cleans the vessels, free from that. Also, he's very happy that now he could please the teacher. The teacher is not beating him. Very happy. And then maybe in another 2, 3 days, by the time already 3, 4 months are over, and he has not yet seen the sword. Okay, maybe that now tomorrow, day after tomorrow, he will introduce me the sword. And he slept nicely. Suddenly he woke up with a big thunder that the guru beats him with the thick uh, wood. Wow, he wakes up and looks around what happened. He didn't understand. So, but he's not doing anything. Where is the clean? Everything is there. Why is beaten? And then he was puzzled. And the teacher said that if you have to maintain the awareness, that you have to maintain the awareness whether it is clean or not. But then I will give you beating. I mean, before even that, even in the work also, while cleaning the floor, suddenly he beats him. He looks around, everything is clean. But the teacher beat him. Everything is clean, utensils, but in spite of it, he said, my God, you are beating me in spite of the fact that I'm doing everything proper. He said, that's not even the question. Your awareness has to be there. Even though you are cleaning, your awareness should be there. Then what to do? Then when I come to beat you, you just say that you know it. Then I will stop. And that moment I will stop. That means you are aware of it. In the beginning, he feels very frustrated. But then he says that's the only way that he has to progress. And so he cleans the whole thing, but keeping an awareness so that he moves a little movement in the curtain, little wind way coming and all that. He knows that the teacher is somewhere nearby. He says, I know. Finish. The teacher would stop. So he's very happy. By about 3, 4, 5 months that he could see that the teacher doesn't beat him. Very happy. And then he happily slept. Middle of the night, he woke up with a big blow on his head. He said, what up? Now onwards, I will beat you in the night also. Even sleep you should have the awareness. This was too much for him. He said, that's the reason why I know that nobody is there with him. No student is there. Everybody runs away. He also decides that I will run away from here. But then one thing that came up, he said that I will not be like other students, just run away. I will beat him and then go. When he's sleeping, I will beat him. And then he finds a nice, wonderful stick and then keeps it ready, everything. And then he hears the teacher is snoring in his room. And he knows exactly what time he has taken the log off, what time he goes into deep sleep and all that. Everything he realized, and then now he takes this stick, goes direct to the teacher's room, and then raises the stick, about to beat him. And then the teacher is lying down, closing his eyes. He says that, I know you have come to beat me. Even though you can't beat me, I can escape. And then this fellow, my God, what happened? I heard snoring moment ago. But then he says like this. Then he said, now you have tested. If you had not tested, run away from here, I would not have cared for it. But you tested me. Now I don't allow you to go. You also can do it. If I can do it, you can do it. So you practice. And I know that for the last 15 days, you are planning to hit me. And he selected a stick from there, did this, did that, and all those things. Everything I know. He thought that he is doing without knowledge of teacher, but the teacher knows everything. Now it became like a challenge for him. He said, okay, I will learn. And then the day, night, he gets beaten several times. He wakes up and night disturbs. So the daytime he is doing the activity. There also he falls asleep. Then he is getting beaten. Now the whole thing has come back again to the wakeful state. But his determination held him tight, continued. Almost like 1 year time is given, 11 months. By that time, he developed awareness in the day and night, doing an activity, not doing an activity. Every time he maintained that awareness. Then the teacher showed him the sword. 1 year sword fighting learning, and that's night. 11 months have already passed. He said, you know what, sword fighting, it's not important how to wield the sword. That I can teach in 10 days. But more important thing is how to save yourself from others' sword. That's very important. If you are not there, where is the question of fighting? Whatever tricks you may have. So therefore, I maintained, I saw that you developed your awareness. Now you go for that. So that is the idea. After rigorous training, it was there. So somebody who goes to that highest degree of rigorous training is supposed to be a Brahman. He not only has an abhyasa, but he also has a vairagya. He can go without food for 6 months. And there are days when you are given like that. No food, fine. Come on, come sit down, learn. No entertainment, no, come sit down. So therefore, what happens is that everywhere it is going back to yourself. It's not a question of food, abstaining from the food. It's not a question of entertainment coming out. No. Every time you go back to the center, you don't go to the object outside. That's what is the training that you are given. Festival, everybody is enjoying it. No, you come back to yourself. So getting back to the self is being trained. That's what we have seen. Shreyas is that which helps you to get back to your center. Prayas is that which will take you to the outside. So anything that going to the outside is prayers and coming back to the center. The highest degree of training that is there is the Brahmana.
Kshatriya also trained.
No, this is the most highest degree in this. So that what happens is that's why Brahmana is given such a high regard, because he cannot be easily, nothing can attract him. Nothing can divert his attention. Nothing can divert his attention. Not even the position. That's why Brahmana is somebody who has mukhamasit. That means he is supposed to be virtuous.
What is it? Mukha?
Brahmanasya mukhamasit. So that means to say he is a virtuous. Baho Radhi. Like that. Bhagavad Gita Krishna says like that. That means he is he is the pride of the culture. Brahmana. Nothing else is there. He doesn't have anything, but he is the pride of the culture. He doesn't have one bit of material, one possession, nothing. He doesn't have anything. In fact, the other day I was watching this Chanakya, where he says, what is the wealth of a Brahmana? He said, Yajnopavita is wealth. It's a simple thread around his neck. That's what is wealth. Doesn't have anything else. Dress also is like that. He doesn't dress anything more than very simple. But then what if he wants to get married? If he wants to get married, or if he has to get married, it's the responsibility of the king. He'll go and ask the king that I need to get married, find a suitable wife, or make the marriage possible for me. Or I found out a wife, I found out a girl, said you marry. This is the responsibility of the king to see that Brahmana gets married. He doesn't have anything of his own. Brahmana is somebody like that. That's the reason why he is next to only Brahma at that level. Unfortunately, what happened in this tradition, Brahmana has been so degraded. The whole culture came down because of Brahmana. See, here and there may be few rotten apples are there. It does not mean apple is bad. Apple one or two is there. So some Brahmanas have done something like that. Not that I'm against it, but you have to identify that and throw it away. You don't have to do it. Brahmana community has to do it. You are not fit to be Brahmana. Then what happens? The next level of discipline is Kshatriya. Because Kshatriya is a physical discipline. Brahmana is psychological discipline. So therefore, see, it's a very simple thing. Calm down your mind. It's not an easy thing. In fact, I was thinking about this idea that Shankara has given us what is called as Shivamanasa Puja. You know, such a beautiful mantra that is there. And you know how difficult it is? He says that you provide an asana, you provide this thing, you provide the what, and in the mind that you do all those things. Just can't do it. Physically, you can do it. Physically, I can keep water. Physically, I can do this. Physically, I can do that. Mentally, I cannot do it. Not even for half a minute, mind goes here and there.
That's why you're putting that as a topic.
Yes, because that discipline is the highest discipline one could have it. I mean, when we don't know the background behind it, we say 10 minutes you do meditation, everything will be over. I mean, forget about it. So the Brahmana Kshatriya discipline is next rigorous discipline, physical. In fact, the way that they say the Kshatriya discipline is, you might die, but do it. You fall from the cliff, you may not exist, but then you do it. You should be able to go. Why it happens like that? Because the training of Kshatriya is that way, that he should not care for death. He'll be killing people and his own army getting killed, and he goes through that. So that's why that is his training.
He also learns the Vairagya in that.
So therefore, in both the cases, there is Vairagya. See that wherever discipline is there, simultaneously Vairagya is there. Simultaneously Vairagya is there. In fact, in the even today in our army says that I see that if my colleague, bullet injury, he falls down, I see that his life is there, I carry him. There's no life, I leave him alone. I can just go ahead. It doesn't care for me. Everything is fine. So that means they're trained to be like that. So therefore that Bahuhu, he is the strength, he is the support. So that rigorous training Gurukul can give selected people. Now those selected people, few are supposed to be Brahmanas because their nature is like that. Guna and then karma. Later on karma, but here it is training, discipline, and then Vairagya. In fact, it's so easy that, I mean, you can see that the highly intellectuals, they don't care for money at all. Money is not even an issue. I was staying with a overloaded kind of person he is. House is so simple, so small, there is nothing in that house. And then, but he's a guide for the Nobel laureates. People will come and ask him about that kind of thing. See, he doesn't care for all those things. And it's such a beautiful thing that he's an asking. He was an asking. I said, see, what's your job? He's a professor. What is it? I said, I teach first year BSc people. Because the foundation has to be good. I teach them at that level. Others, there are people who can take care of it. See, he doesn't even go for name, fame, nothing that is there. Unfortunately, all those things are there. If you listen to the story of Nambi Narayan, extraordinary, wonderful scientist, but he didn't go for anything. And he was all these things. And look at our Abdul Kalam, highest degree of Brahmana. In fact, one of his students was our satsang friend and all that. He would say that amount of work he would do it in the lab. He was here. He said, I just couldn't take that much of work there. It's not possible for that kind of a discipline. Highest discipline is Brahmana. So that's why just by you're born in a Gotra, you're born to pay people, you are not a Brahmana. You have to, that's why, this Shvetaketu and Uddalaka says, in this family, there's nobody born as a Brahmana. We all become Brahmanas. Then comes the next level. That means to say, you have interest in money, but you know how to judiciously use it. So that means there is certain amount of discipline there, but certain amount of effort is also there. You can produce more value for that and other. That's what is Vaishya. Vaishya is also like that. In a society, the next level is further lower amount of discipline. There's not much of discipline, but at the same time, there is certain amount of discipline so that you become a labor. You work for you humbly surrender yourself to somebody. This is what is supposed to be Shudra. So therefore, what happens now? Look at the way highest discipline to the lowest discipline. That there are people, divide them into various categories and then make use of that. Once it is done that, then there is, and another thing is that just because that somebody is Brahmana, not that he has any money, he has any riches or anything like that. All that he has is a discipline. That itself is wealth. And the Brahmin's wealth is discipline. Discipline makes him such a way that when he wishes, it becomes a reality. Because what happens is that every discipline strengthens your willpower. That willpower is so strong. That's why they were afraid of. Brahmana says something, it's like a curse. Otherwise, he will not say it. In fact, in Mahabharata, it comes that way that somebody who is having that kind of a discipline, don't see that he will get upset. Otherwise, a small little bad thing comes up, it becomes reality. In the case of Yudhishthira, it was like that. Dharmaraja, highly disciplined, absolutely disciplined. That's why he was Dharma representative. He said that in the place where they were in Virata Parva, and he hits him with the dice, and the drop of blood falling down. Sairandri comes and just holds that blood. No, it should not fall on the ground, my dear king. The king will go to the kingdom will be in Kshama, in this thing. Then Virat Raj, he was stunned. He said, I heard only thing about the Yudhishthira, this kind of thing. But here is a Kankubatu. You don't know. Then he started, where are these Pandavas? Pandavas in Ajnatavasa. They finished Aranyasa, Ajnatavasa. Oh, this Kankubatu is this, then you are Sairandri, you are Draupadi. My God, what kind of people you are. You see, the shock for him was unbelievable. Because that's the kind of thing. So that's what is the power of discipline. A very simple thing. If you are disciplined, people are afraid of you. People recognize you that you're disciplined.
But discipline should not cause rigidity only.
Yes, see, that's what is the thing. Discipline is for you, not for the others. It is not for the gain, it's for the growth. There's for the gain is something, growth is something different. So that's for your growth that you have. So that's why and they have to identify these are the people who can go through the discipline. What must be the guru that you can take the Brahmana as highest disciplinary kind of a thing. Then Kshatriya, then Vaishya and Shudra. There are disciplines even for the Shudra that is to be there because that they have to organize the society. Society is full of all this kind of people. So that's why society has all this. But somebody might say, I don't even want to get into that discipline there also. Like, for example, in Shudra case, what is the discipline? Discipline is that you set a house, whether you have one wife or two wives, it doesn't matter. Okay, you are allowed. But then set up a house and then live a unit in the society. It's necessary for that. So you maintain that. If somebody says, I don't even want to maintain that, I will not even have this kind of a discipline also, then the society said, you can live, but you cannot be part of this society. You can live outside. So therefore, we had the society, people which are divided to Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. And apart from that, they were there in the forest. They are living in the forest by just the forest. You can live, eat food, whatever that you like, live together. Then you can have kind of a sex, kind of food, kind of way of life. No discipline at all. Nomads. And right. You can do your work, earn it, and then go. That's what is the simple thing. They don't have any discipline. And the society is to accept them. Accept them not in the society, but little away from the society because society could not be contaminated. So that's why they are there. But somebody from that would like to become better. All right, you are always welcome. But provided you practice this discipline, you will be there. Same way somebody is born to a Vaishya or Shudra. He says, I would like to discipline to become Brahmana. Yes, you can become, provided you follow the discipline. This inter exchange in the various levels, they were there. But it is not money based, it is not comfort based, it's not riches based, it's not anything basis. The basis is the amount of discipline. So therefore, I would like to take up a discipline of that nature. Well, if you take up discipline, your discipline will make you to Brahmana. That's why we have such extraordinary, wonderful stories where they are born as non-Brahmins, but then they have taken up discipline and became Brahmins. Sages, rishis like Valmiki, where was he? And Vyasa, who was he?
Fishermen.
Yeah, for a fisherman. And then he became a saint because the amount of discipline that he had. Such a discipline Vyasa had that Vyasa says one word, it becomes a reality. That's the kind of thing. Even the person, see, that's one of the reasons why Vyasa has given all the Puranas, all the things, because when Vyasa is given, that means it's something which is fair, useful, society. How we understand, how we interpret it is our nature, but it's something Vyasa has given or Valmiki has given. I cannot simply comment on Ramayana without going to the depth of it. So, first thing is I have to have a Shraddha in Ramayana. Then I should inquire about why Valmiki said something in Ramayana that way. Then I can understand that. It helps you to grow. Easily people, they make a comment on that. Valmiki should not have given like that. Sita, he is sent away into the forest. Arey Baba, don't comment on Valmiki because he has come with such an amount of discipline. If you don't follow it, that means you didn't understand it. Or you didn't get somebody who can explain to you why it is like that. You work on that. Then you get a knowledge. So therefore, essentially, that all these different classes, that is 4 different levels, everything is given by Gurukul. So I said, what kind of a foundation Gurukul lays if somebody is going to the society? Because after going to the society, you are disciplined already, you are in a particular way, both in terms of Abhyasa and also Vairagya. Both these things have to reflect in your way, whatever that you are doing, Vairagya. And in fact, the Brahmana doesn't have anything, that's a Vairagya. But you look at the Kshatriya's Vairagya is extraordinary. He is living in a palace. He has got all the jewelry, everything, but nothing belongs to him. He has total non-attachment with all those things. That's what is the kind of Vairagya. In fact, that's what he says, that one time you leave it and go become a sannyasi is easy. Living in the world, becoming a sannyasi every moment is what there's such great people like Janaka and all that they followed it. That's why Ashtavakra has such a great respect for Janaka. He said, you are great. After seeing everybody, Ashtavakra comes to Janaka and says that you are great because you are living in the kingdom, being a king with all those things, but then every moment you are disconnected from this thing. Vairagya is every moment it is there with you. But outside people don't even see that unless until somebody goes near, you will see that.
It is not meant to be seen.
It's not meant to, it's not meant for expression. See, that's what others recognize that. Like, for example, Janaka's greatness, other kings recognize. Ashwalahana's greatness, other kings recognized. Because that what we cannot be disconnected with, and these people can do it so easily, just passionate. So such a great. And Vaishya also is the same thing. He has wealth, everything is that, but he has to use the wealth only for certain purposes. He cannot abuse with that. There is also discipline there. And that discipline of Vaishya comes because of his nature. His nature is that he knows what is worth where, what kind of worth it has. Shudra doesn't have all those things. Hey, it's okay. I'll give you money, you eat, drink, or whatever that is, do merry, fine. But I'll give you only that much that you can take care of it. It doesn't go beyond that.
But it's, you told before Shudra, that set of people is they're okay doing any robotic things also. That also requires discipline of the Brahmin. Just continues doing the same.
Yeah. Oh, no, it's not discipline. They are capable of doing it. You see, don't think that it's a robotic way of doing it. It's a training. It is somebody's nature is like that. That's why they have become Shudra. Routinely, they do it the same kind of a thing. They're happy doing that. You give them a higher task, they cannot take it. So that's their nature. And we didn't disrespect that nature of somebody. I always come across this, 5-star hotel. There's one fellow sitting at the security in the beginning, in the entrance, big hat and this thing, and then all that is there, stands there, open the door, and then go inside, all that. And I was sitting there and watching him. If somebody gives me this kind of a job, and he will say 10 lakhs of rupees every month, he'll say, please, I don't want that money. I can't be doing this. It's not my nature. Somebody does it happily because it's a nature. But the most important thing is that beyond these 4 classes that we have this Chandala and who are in the forest, Shankara has respected them. Shankara said we need to provide necessary support for them also. The Sanatana Dharma should reach them. That's why he created Nagas and Bills and all that. He created and their way of practice is what they need to do. All that they have given, he has given. That means we did not even neglect them. They may not be part of this society, which is organized society, but then they are still part of it. In this organized society, Brahmin is committed to one wife. And those days, because of the child mortality, etc., they might have 2 wives. That's the only thing. But Kshatriya's marriage is not his choice. See, a Kshatriya marriage is always an occasion that is used to create harmony in the people. That means peace in the people. That means by marrying that my next door neighbor king, then these 2 kingdoms do not fight. That's why Chandragupta Maurya, when he died, when his wife died, then he married Seleucus' daughter, Helena. And Helena is coming from Macedonia. So he said, okay, that marriage is all right. So like that, they would marry not one girl, 2, 3 girls, because basically that develops a mutual connection between them, relationship between them. So saying that one wife is the only thing, it's not like that. That's why in Ramayana, Rama is a king. His father had 3 wives. But then when he married Sita, he promised to Sita, you will be the only wife for me. Yeah. He says, this is one thing that I give. And his father also married three, not because that he would like to have a fancy of wives, but it is a need. Because the first, that story is very nice. The first wife did not have any children, but then continuation has to be done. So he married second one. Even that is also not there. So Sumitra did not give, Kausalya did not give. Then he gave to Kaikeya Raja, and then he said, okay, she will marry. But then Kaikeya Raja, he has put a clause there. He said that you can marry my daughter unless until you promise that her son will be the next king. Dasharatha, anyway, I don't have children. For so many years, no children is there. That's the reason why he's marrying. So therefore, this clause doesn't seem to be very appealing for him or any meaning for that. He said, okay, it's all right. Her son will be the king. Promised. And when he promised, two persons were there. And that was Dasharatha was there, Kaikeya Raja was there, and one person who was there was Arya Sumant, minister. So in his presence, he did it. Nobody else knows about it. But Janaka knows it. See, that's a beauty. So he knows it. Then what happened? All the three gave children because that's what the way that it happened. Now, that's why in a hurry, he wanted Rama to be coronated. But then you know what? Bharata, Dasharatha was very clever. He said, send the invitation to all the kings and samantas, everybody, but don't send it to Kaikeyi Raja and also Janaka. Janaka also, because they know it. And they come and question, I can't say no to it. I'm in a corner. That is the promise actually. The father, see, when Rama upheld the promise, it's not that Janaka asked Rama, Dasharatha asked Rama, that's not the promise. Father's promise. That's why he says that Pitru Satyam Anupalayan. Have to take care of that. That's what is important. So he promised Kaikeyi Raja, yes, your son will be king. But then it so happened that Rama is the eldest, and then these two are there, and all the four brothers are there. Now Kaikeyi demands, my son will be king. She doesn't say that it is your promise to the father. She says that you promise me. Two boons I asked, and then you promise me that you will give it. And she quoted from the war that has taken place. You see how things became complex there. And Janaka also cannot say at that point of time to Kaikeyi, please don't ask this, but I have promised to your dad. When he says that don't bring them here, Arya Sumant, he says that, then Vasishtha is the person who says, no, this is not right, this is not good, it's going to lead to something. He suspected. So that's what basically the way, how the things are taken. So he has married three wives because of this, that he would like to have a son to continue the kingdom. That's why it happened. Rama promised, on the other hand, to Sita that I can't marry one more, you are the only person. And that he used later on. You see, look at the way that when he's doing Rajasuya Yaga, when Sita was there in Valmiki's ashrama, she has a doubt now. That means Rama has forgotten me. So he married somebody else. He's like, see, until that time she was in the state that, yes, Rama is not there for me. I'm alone. But then the moment she heard that Rajasuya Yaga is going on, Rama married, without wife, he cannot do it, married. Now she started feeling lonely again. He twist. And then she's struggling between these two things. Whether Rama married, that's why he's doing this, or whether Rama did not marry, but how can you do Rajasuya Yaga? And who to solve? Because nobody knows that she's Sita. She's one Kanya. And then she rushes to Valmiki, falls at his feet. Valmiki says, I'll give you special power. Go and see for yourself. And then she goes and comes back. Then Valmiki says, how long are you being tossed between loneliness and aloneness? The journey is to be alone.
Alone. This alone is what you say in Narada Bhakti Sutra, Divikta Sthana, is it?
Yeah, Vivikta Sthana. You are alone. Ekanta. In fact, that's what Shastriji always says. Ekante sukhamashatam paratare samadhiyatam, something like that. So that's what is important. That is what is the idea. So now you just see now the clear picture about the society before a young person now enters into the society. Then what happens is the idea of grahastha. Now you have all the things that are set in the grahastha for all the people who are there and all that. That's how the whole thing starts. With this background, most important background, I said, this is where the whole idea of yoga comes into the picture. Abhyasa, Vairagya. It's not that simple what Patanjali says, what Krishna says. It is connected with Sanatana Dharma. Then you enter into the Grasthashrama. Next week we will look into Grasthashrama.
So by by the Gurukul, they would have understood their personality. They would have understood that I belong to the Brahmin category, this thing. So when they're entering the Grihastha ashram also, they're going to be selecting their wife, partner in that manner, is it?
No,
like
they have disciplines. So discipline and Vairagya, they are there.
Yes.
So somebody appreciates their discipline and Vairagya. They are the people now they come together, come forward. See, the whole system automatically happens. They don't have to select anybody or anything. Oh, this is like, when look at his tejas, look at his varchas, look at his non-attachment, look at his Vairagya.
That's why a long time ago, even the princes used to marry the sages.
Yeah. Now you see the society arrangement is such a way in the foundation level, brahmacharya level, then it becomes easier at the grastha level. Now you look at the way that when at grastha level, when all these things are set so clearly like that, it's so easy to give a jyotishya. Now all that it required is a few things to say that yes, he is going to have a child like this, she is going to be like this, he is going to be king, he is going to be like this. It's very easy. See, Jyotishya is not a standalone science. It is dependent on such a wonderful society, that system that was there. Today we don't have that system, but we would like to have Jyotishya. That's the reason why basically Jyotishya is failing. You say that these people, they don't know about Jyotishya. It's not the question that they don't know about Jyotishya. They don't know about all these stars and planets and all those things. Everything is there. They don't know how the grahas are there, where the grahas are. Everything is there, but where is the recipe for that? Where is the preparation for the society for that? And how do we bring about the society? People say that we'll start some Gurukul somewhere here. It's not a solution. It should be looked at from the total point of view. Anyway, let's see. We'll continue the discussion next week. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
ಕನ್ನಡ ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಿದ್ದು ನಮ್ಮ ಚಿಕ್ಕವರು ಮಾತಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ತಾರೆ ಹೋಗ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಹುಚ್ಚು ಬಿಟ್ಟತ್ತು ಮದುವೆ ಆಗಲ್ಲ, ಮದುವೆ ಆಗೋತ್ತು ಹುಚ್ಚು ಯಾವ್ದು ಬಿಡ್ಬೇಕು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನಮ್ಗೆ ಈ ಪ್ರಾಪಂಚಿಕ ಮೆಟೀರಿಯಲಿಸ್ಟಿಕ್ ವರ್ಲ್ಡ್ ಅಂತ ರೆಸ್ಪಾನ್ಸಿಬಿಲಿಟಿ ಬಂದು ವೈರಾಗ್ಯ ಬರ್ಬೇಕು, ಅದು ಹುಚ್ಚು ಬರ್ಬೇಕು. ಈ ರಾಮಕೃಷ್ಣ ಪರಮಹಂಸ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಒಂದೊಂಥರ ಹುಚ್ಚುತನ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಒಬ್ರು ಬೇಸರ ಹುಚ್ಚು, ಒಬ್ಬರಿಗೆ ಸ್ಪಿಟಾಡೋ ಹುಚ್ಚು, ಆತರ. ಇದು ಆಧ್ಯಾತ್ಮಿಕ ಹುಚ್ಚು.
How to enter into Grahasthashrama? This marriage is the best. So therefore, that there are certain ideas that when we have, then the question of that people don't want to get married and all those things will not come into the picture at all. Can I live without marriage? Should I get married? These things do not come into the picture at all because you don't understand psychology, you don't understand the social pattern that is there. Once we know that, it becomes easy.
If anyone has any doubts, you can please.
Any
unmute.
doubts, anything like that? You can. Shastrigalé.
Namaskar,
Kara.
sir. Yeah. I understand you had a guest from Detroit today.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. One question on this Uttarakhanda of Ramayana.
Yeah.
They say that Uttarakhanda, that Lavakusha story was an add-on. It was not written by Valmiki. That's one thing. And the second one that I wanted to this one is the Panchayati system that was created was 4 Varnas, Brahmana, Kshatriya, Shudra, and then the 5th seat was from all the tribal people who were around the villages. That's how I learned. So just let me know if what my learning is correct.
No, Panchayat system, I'll tell you about that.
Yeah,
Because
okay.
if you go to Grahastha Ashrama into the society, when I say how the society evolved, system evolved, I'll
Okay.
talk about that in
Okay.
detail.
Yeah.
What are the Panchayatan that is there?
Yeah.
How it can take us forward, I will tell.
Yeah. And
So-
about the Uttarakhanda addition.
Uttarakhanda,
Uh,
a lot of people disputed and all that. I am not interested in entering into all these disputes.
okay.
If it can convey a wonderful message for us,
Yeah.
accept it.
It
Simple.
doesn't matter who wrote it.
Yeah. Who
Okay.
wrote it?
Yeah. Okay.
Nobody
Makes
has
sense.
written, I'm writing.
Makes sense.
That's what he said about Lakshman Rekha also.
Yeah, Lakshman Rekha. There's so many things like that.
Yeah.
Keep telling that, that it's easy for us. You see, one thing, criticizing is very easy, but getting the best out of their, whatever the literature is there, if you can use it for sake of growth, it's wonderful. You can take it.
Thank you, sir.
Right, sir. Thank you.